Also, hello, Godless Monkey.
I just came to say hello.
And yeah, there will be a little bit, nothing, I don't think I'm going to be spoiling anything major. Just, a lot of it's just going to be shooting off the cuff. So I'll just get into it. The Batman. I'm going to start off with stuff I like about the movie before I get into the stuff I don't like. So if you guys are about to hop in the chat with some nitpicks and some whataboutisms, bear with me, okay? Spoil away. Godless Monkey says, spoil away. I honestly do not give a shit about superhero movies. Here's the thing. I'll start off with this. If you're a fan of horror, if you're a fan of action horror movies, thrillers, trying to think of comparisons, the thing that comes, I haven't seen it in a long time, but The Crow comes to mind with this. Trying to think of like other like action horror movies. It's a lot like a horror movie. If you're into that dark stuff with a lot of action, it's a pretty good action movie. The Batman. If you're into that stuff. Very dark. Something I actually like about it is the decor, the aesthetics of it. Like, the decor is very gothic. The architecture is very gothic. The color schemes are mostly black and red. There's like maybe 10 minutes of daylight throughout the entire movie. I think in some ways it's overdone. I'll explain that in a second. But just the visuals, I think, are pretty pleasing. I like that the movie distinguishes itself the way it does. Very dark. It even takes place on Halloween, so it's a very Halloween-y movie. I guarantee this is going to be like, you know how it's been like kind of a cool, a fun joke to say like Die Hard, it's a Christmas movie. This is a Christmas movie. This is going to be remembered as a Halloween movie. I know the nerdy what about the Long Halloween? What about the Long Halloween, huh? Huh? Anyway. Robert Pattinson is a really good Batman. He might be my favorite Batman. At the same time, he's my least favorite Bruce Wayne, and I don't know if that's necessarily his fault. I think it's mostly the writing. But Robert Pattinson is a really good Batman, especially for what that movie is trying to accomplish. I thought he did very well. It was just Speedy Gonzalez. It's kind of hard. There's so much going on in this level. I don't know where to go. He's a really good Batman. Okay, I'm already over this level. I don't care. What up, Colt Savage?
I just came to say hello.
My favorite Bruce Wayne is by far Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne. And again, this might be more to do with the writing of that movie, but I liked that version of Bruce Wayne the best. In the Nolan films. But the Bruce Wayne in this movie, I mean, he kind of looks like he's in an emo band. Kind of quiet, not really involved with he is, but he isn't. At least not compared with the Bruce Wayne in other movies. Very quiet guy. All right. But yeah, as far as Batman goes, I thought Robert Pattinson did a great job as Batman. I just like the Christian Bale. Like, he's kind of like playing up this playboy thing. There's like a pep in his step in a lot of those Batman movies as Bruce Wayne. He has a smile on his face. He looks like a man of confidence. Especially with the way he interacts with Rachel Dawes in the first movie. The Riddler. Oh yeah, going back to the whole horror movie aspect. The Riddler is a lot like Jigsaw from the Saw movies. He's very terrifying. He's not like the campy Jim Carrey Riddler or the Riddler from the 60s Adam West movies. Like he's kind of presented as this guy. He likes to go on the internet and terrorize Gotham with all these public threats. And he often he sets up all these puzzles and riddles for his victims to solve. There are a couple cases where like he forces you to solve a riddle, or else like someone will die. That kind of stuff. Very terrifying villain. Whoops. Darn it. But yeah, it's a lot like a horror movie. But the thing about the Riddler, the overarching theme of the movie is vengeance. Oh yeah, I should also ask, going back to Robert Pattinson being a good Batman. I thought the casting overall in the movie was really good. I really like all of the characters. The acting was pretty good across the board with all of the characters. The characters in this Batman movie are pretty unique and distinct from the other Batman movies. There we go. The pacing of the movie, it's very slow, but in some ways that's good because I think it does a good job of building tension and suspense. But at the same time, it's just so freaking long, and like after 2 hours, you're like, oh, it's probably going to be over soon. Ready to wrap this up, and then it's like there's another hour of the movie. But the overall theme of the movie is vengeance. When we first see Batman, someone asks him, like, who are you? And he says, I'm Vengeance. And everyone starts calling him Vengeance. Selena Kyle, Catwoman, her character ends up becoming very motivated by vengeance because the mob kills her best friend. And the rest of the movie, she's just trying to find, get to the bottom of why her friend was killed, who exactly killed her friend. But the Riddler especially, he's motivated by vengeance. The Riddler was an orphan who felt like he got cheated. You could say rightfully so. This is another thing about the Riddler is you could say that his actions are very despicable and evil. But his anger is at least somewhat justified because he grew up an orphan. And he, along with a lot of other people in Gotham, they were promised a lot of charity by people like Thomas Wayne. Thomas Wayne, when he was running for mayor decades ago, he pledged to give $1 billion to the Gotham Renewal Program, which promised a lot of money for institutions like orphanages. But then Thomas Wayne, he gets murdered. And then all that money ends up getting squandered and picked apart by the corrupt politicians and the media or the mafia affiliated politicians in Gotham. They end up taking all that money for the spoils. And it's kind of like this program that just keeps getting renewed, re-upped with all these promises, but it never goes where it's supposed to. And this is a big reason why the Riddler is frustrated. He's also very frustrated at the fact that Bruce Wayne got all of this media attention for being this poor orphan, but poor Bruce Wayne, his parents got murdered, but he had billions of dollars to enjoy while he grew up. Meanwhile, the Riddler had to share a bedroom with like 30 other kids and, grew up, going hungry because he was supposed to get money for his upbringing, but it never found his way to... So the Riddler is motivated by vengeance, by targeting corrupt elites, corrupt politicians, people he views as corrupt. And a lot of these people are corrupt. He goes after police, high-ranking police officials, the district attorney, mafia people, the sitting mayor, and Bruce Wayne. These are all targets. He doesn't know that Bruce Wayne is Batman. He thinks Batman is on his team. And that's why he keeps leaving Batman all of these letters and cards, because he secretly looks up to Batman. And that's another whole thing with this movie is like Batman has been working for 2 years and he ends up inspiring crazies like the Riddler to really wreak some havoc. The Riddler is a very formidable villain. Every time Batman thinks he got the Riddler pointed down, the Riddler's like, oh, well, clearly you missed the bigger picture because, yeah, you caught up to me here, but boy, did you miss out on some shit about to go down. Meanwhile, you got Selina Kyle, who's kind of like the middle person in all this, middleman. Screw this level. Okay. Selina Kyle, she's motivated by vengeance. She also takes a lot of issue with the corrupt elites, the rich in Gotham City. She has a lot of envy problems, and that's like kind of a thing between her and Batman. Batman's always trying to talk her into reason. This is where I kind of get turned off by the movie, is that because it's riddled with the overarching theme is vengeance. There's a lot of cynicism in the movie. I know I've gotten into it with people in the chat occasionally about whether or not the Nolan Batman movies are malevolent universe. You want to talk about malevolent universe? This version of Batman definitely displays a pretty pessimistic view on humanity. Now, there are glimpses of hope. That's the thing. There are glimpses of hope in this movie. And that's what Batman's trying to do. It's similar to, the way Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne interacted in the third Nolan movie, where it's Catwoman, Selina Kyle, she's all like, well, this town is, beyond saving. It's corrupt. Why are you wasting your time? Batman's all like, no, I gotta try. I can't give up on the people of Gotham. He wants to carry on his father's legacy of saving Gotham and looking out for the people of Gotham. And he tries to lead by example. He tries to show the people of Gotham that, he's out to save lives and help people. But the overall theme of the movie is pretty dark. So there's a part of me that wants to see more, like, maybe if they make sequels, maybe they're going to take it in a more positive direction. But again, we can only analyze this movie as a standalone. And it is pretty riddled with cynicism, pessimism. Which, as we know, if you see the way people have responded to Batman movies in the past, people tend to align themselves more with the villains of Gotham City. People tend to say, oh, the Joker kind of has a point here. Okay, how am I supposed to navigate this? Oh, see, great. They put this trap here. Maybe I'm supposed to jump over it. Okay, I know what to do now. Damn, I thought I jumped. The fucking game cheated me. All right. Let's see what the chat is saying. Yeah, Catwoman is a thief. Sounds like, did someone else catch her hedge funds? Oh, yeah, exactly. Abyss said, that's a good point. Yeah. There's a point where Catwoman's like, oh, yeah, well, let's go shake down some hedge funds and CEOs. She doesn't know that Batman is Bruce Wayne either. And it's just this thing where it's like, and I think Batman, he's suspicious of Catwoman, that she's secretly tied to Falcone, and says, oh, was it worth it selling out your principles for a few dollars? Kind of showing that Batman, even though he is rich and wealthy, he's not motivated by money or personal gain. He's motivated by principles. He tries to live up to principles. Overall, if you're into action, horror, thriller, and if you're in general into Batman and superhero movies, I know a lot of people are burnt out on superhero movies in general. Yeah, I would recommend if you're into like horror. Ah. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to jump on the pipe. I was just saying that out loud. All right. Now we're going to do it. I got this now. Also somewhat of a mystery, obviously, you know, the Riddler. There's a lot of mystery. All right. This time, jump all the way up. Yeah, let's do it. I wonder if this is what the designer of the level had in mind. Boom. See, now I gotta land on that perfectly. I did it. Got these parachuting piranhas in here. Can't kill them with arrows, apparently. But you gotta be Link in order to beat the level. I thought the Riddler, the guy who played the Riddler, just a terrifying guy. All right, I did it. I finally did it.
We beat him! We fucking beat him! He left. He fucking left and we beat him.
As a Batman movie, I'm still partial to the Nolan Batman movies. But, and I don't really count the Zack Snyder movies as Batman movies, even though Batman is in 2 of them. I would put this above the Schumacher and Burton movies, by far.